Good morning, friends. Our topic today is how to develop peace of mind and heart so that we can live well. This process of developing peace of mind and heart comes out of finding meaning and purpose in our life, meaning and purpose in the larger picture of life, meaning and purpose on how we can contribute to life. Now, after I set the topic of my lesson today, I discovered all hell broke loose. I've been watching the news. I've been listening to the weather. I've been seeing tragic examples of how our paradigm, how the way things are supposed to work is falling apart. And so in this falling apart process, we all are struggling to find meaning and purpose and the courage to confront what's really happening. Now, my topic, the title of my talk is, It's Never Too Late to Love. And I know that for some individuals whose lives are gone from this plane, it is too late. And for others, they feel hopeless and helpless and have written it off as too late. But I want to say it's never too late to start finding and cultivating the love in yourself and your love for others. When I was in seminary, one of my teachers, Reverend Janet, said that she had come up with a value system. It's actually a definition of what love was. It really was on a t-shirt that I still have. And it's, let's obviously value everyone. When we obviously value everyone, we're loving them. We're extending the love that we are to them. But what if we really valued the folks that are being hit worse by the storms this week? What would we do differently if we really valued them and their opinions and their ways and all of that? Would we not want to do something different? But John Lewis, the former U.S. representative from Georgia, in his outstanding book, Call of Courage, says that revolutions in this consciousness will only happen when it starts on the inside, when we start valuing ourselves, what's important to us. And when we value ourselves and what's important to us, then we can see it, find it, develop it, expand it, and engage with the values of others. So I found this longevity article. It was by Sergey Young on how to develop valuing for ourselves. Because valuing is all about longevity. It's about how to value our vitality, our instrument in this world. His suggestions were getting enough sleep. If we're not getting enough sleep, then we're not using our superpower of clear mind, rest, and rejuvenation of the body. Seeking medical and following medical advice early and often. Following through on best practices for how to take care of our bodies. The next point that he made was about using our food as medicine. Instead of taking a pill to correct a problem, what is it environmentally that we need to shift, to change, using our food that will help to nourish us in ways that truly is life-sustaining? And his fourth thing was cultivating peace of mind and heart through finding meaning and purpose. And I went, yes, That's how we live well, is when we find that meaning and purpose, when we find the value of things, when we start experiencing that value for ourselves and other people. I was talking with a friend this week, and I said, well, what does it mean to you to obviously value other people? And he took a little while to come back with that. But he said it's the small things that we do for people. It's those kindnesses that we extend to people. And I noticed one of the things that he was doing was he brought treats to pass out to all the flight attendants and the people that he saw as they were doing their job in the airport. And I'm like, well, that's a valuing, that's a kindness. And I said, you know, my mother used to do that. Or actually, we used to do it with my mother. She went into assisted living when she was late 80s. And somehow she ended up asking for chocolates. And I'm like, really? You don't eat chocolate? She said, no, but the staff here does. And I have found that when I have a chocolate treat to share with the people who come to visit me, the people who come to clean my room or help me to get to the bathroom, I get a lot more attention. And they're happier and I'm happier. So let's make sure I always have chocolates. Now, when she was doing that, it wasn't a bribe. It was, I value you. I know that you could use a little bit of sugar pick-me-up. That valuing, that extending of herself. I remember another time, there was somebody who she particularly liked at her assisted living, and she slipped them a $5 bill and said, on your vacation, I want you to have an ice cream and think about me. She'd love to do that. That would be so much fun to be able to say, well, this is Katie Palmer's $5 ice cream. That valuing, that extending of oneself makes all the difference. So how can we value others? How can we support others in their well-being? Well, value comes with a whole range of words, none of which is the traditional love. But valuing others means acknowledging their points of view, appreciating who they are and how they show up in the world. It's about believing what they say. It's about celebrating and consoling them. It's about connecting with what's going on for them outside of what's going on for me. It's about defending them when they need to and engaging them, encouraging them, elevating, expecting the good for them. It's about having the hope for the good and looking for it and helping them to find that good. It's about feeding them. There's a company called Pensy Spices who is engaging in political discourse through feeding people, about cooks and having the spice of life being quality and goodness and joy, all the American values that they can have. So in that feeding of others, making a difference, being gracious when somebody holds the door for you or gets out of your way or helps you with a package, being gracious and saying thank you. That's a value of people. Maybe it's hugs and handshakes or elbow knocking, I don't know. Or maybe it's a namaste. It's a recognition of somebody. It's experiencing interest in what goes on for them. It's joining with them in their own pursuit of justice. It's about knowing and letting. It's about sending messages, whether it's thoughts or prayers or little notes that we write or send a message through Messenger. It doesn't matter. All of those are about valuing them, making a difference in their lives, making a difference in their experience. When we recognize, relate, see, hear, and understand what's going on for them, all of that is involved with valuing, trusting, testing out our understanding. Do we understand what you were just trying to tell me? It's verifying that we understood completely and verifying the assumptions that we're making about it. All of that is about seeking to value one another. It's the small things. It's the small things in life that makes our life worth living. It's about giving to others in the same quality and quantity and caring and compassion that we care about ourselves. I'm involved with a program called Nonviolent Communication. And in that, it's about listening beyond what the strategies or the opinions are. It's listening to what feelings are going on for people. It's listening beyond that to not only see what they're feeling, but what needs are they trying to get met? What are their struggles with what's alive for them? Because when we see and feel and engage in that lower level of trying to have clean clothes, having a sense of ease, finding a place to sleep, finding a safe haven, all of that is about valuing them. Now, because we talked of feelings and needs so much, it's taking ownership for our own feelings and needs. It's taking ownership and knowing what I'd like to have happen and how you could help me make, perhaps, in getting those needs met. But the strategy isn't my needs first and foremost, regardless of what's going on for you. It's my needs first and foremost, but not at the sacrifice of another. You see, when we ask for help, we're giving people an opportunity to assist us. That same exchange of energy contributes to meaning and purpose. It contributes to a connection. It connects a value. And in that meaning and purpose and exchange of energy, we're both blessed. Because givers don't get to give unless there's a receiver who receives, and receivers don't get to give in exchange unless they receive. It's a cycle, a process, a giving and receiving, a process of giving love. So, what are the ways that you find meaning and purpose? And in this, find the peace of mind, the peace in your heart to be able to continue the process of living well and being an example through which love shows up. Being an example, a venue, a vehicle for light to show up. Yesterday evening, we heard from a friend. We hadn't heard from Rick in months, only to find out he was facing 3 different medical appointments on the next 3 days, that he was kind of reaching out to say, help me see the good in this. And that opportunity reminded us of what's important to us as we supported him. That process of giving and receiving is so critically important in this world. It's valuing others. It's valuing ourselves and making the effort to go forward into the future. Because living well is the whole gift of this process. So how do we live well? We live well when we develop meaning and purpose in our lives. In the meaning and purpose of our lives, we contribute to others. So, my friends, the question is, how do you value others? What are you doing to show them that you value them? Whether they're near or far, whether you only get to see them on FaceTime, or if you get to give them a hug, how can you value them more? What are their interests? What are their purposes? How can you contribute in that way? Because it is in the giving and the receiving. Because the giving of it makes our heart expand. And the receiving of it makes our joys complete. So, my dear friends, this week, as you go through your day, how can you live well? Get enough sleep, get advice, follow through on better suggestions than what you've got going on. Eat your food as medicine, as nourishment to your mind, body, and spirit, and cultivate this practice of peace of mind and heart. And then, as you discover what brings joy in your life, deep meaning and purpose, find ways to give that away. Find ways to share, whether it's by baking bread, because you love and you got this great sourdough starter and you bake bread and you give them away and you support nonprofits and other good causes through baking bread. Whatever your gift is to this world, there's somebody who's looking for it. Take good care of yourself. And then through taking good care of yourself, you can take care of others.